Madam Commissioner Rhoda, Director Zena Matumbualia and PCA, and our authorities from the different regional economic communities and organizations, all friends who are around here. It's a pleasure at the end of these 3 days to stand here and look back at an amazing conference, really. I liked what we've had in the past years, but I think this year is really an amazing organization, very rich discussions, debates, and questions, and the presentations. I think the quality of the conference has just gotten stronger, and this is something that is good for all of us and for everyone. We need, as part of the CAADP agenda, the space and the time for vigorous debate, for exchanging our experiences and reflecting on the challenges and what have you. There are several opportunities to do that, but this is really a good one, and I'm very happy that you took your time to come and be part of this. It's going to be perhaps hard or maybe not even necessary to go through extensive conclusions. I was just going to reiterate some of the key messages I think have come out of the meeting. We all, especially the last session, but also throughout the different presentation, are encouraged by the performance we see across the continent. Growth is improving, poverty reduction is taking place, transformation performance is improving, including in the agricultural value chains. We are happy about that, but we will not be satisfied until we see more of that, until we have made up for the lost ground during the difficult decades that preceded the recovery. We encourage as well by the positive outlook within Africa and globally. There are, yes, trends that may complicate things, and we'll ask everybody to remain vigilant, our leaders and governments, what to do with the growing population and youth seeking employment, issues of land, access, quality, productivity, climate change. Those are all issues. In a fast-growing environment, people easily see inequalities arising because some are going to be much more entrepreneurial and have greater opportunities to grow. Although those at the lower level are growing with, it's very likely that inequalities might appear, and some may benefit earlier than others and faster than others. So making sure that nobody is left behind and that growth is well distributed is going to be an important challenge. And therefore, the theme of the conference, I think, was quite a good one. We need to sustain the recovery. 15 years, 20 years are good, but we need not just many more years, but to sustain it as much as we can. Yes, we know in the relative economic life there are cycles, but if any drop keeps you above where you were before, you'll keep on moving forward, and we would like to do that. The message from here is that the progress that's been achieved in terms of governance, in terms of investment quality, in terms of macro sectoral policies, those are extremely important. But also we heard here that growth took place, but transformation of economies is still an unfinished business. Industrialization, manufacturing, infrastructure gap, especially in the power sector, road and so on, are quite important. We think that it will be helpful to rethink industrialization strategies, to deepen them, to look at all the opportunities across our economies, including in the informal goods and services sectors, where there are opportunities like we've seen here in Ethiopia with the leather sector, but also in other places across the continent. Those are extremely important that we need to work on. We could not emphasize more the importance of infrastructure in science and technology as part of the growth process and sustaining it. When it comes to infrastructure, Madam Commissioner reminded us about PIDA, the Africa-wide Infrastructure Development Program. What we learned from here is that given the size of the African economies, really collective action is the best way to go, regional level and so on. So we hope here that our authorities and leaders from the African Union all the way to the countries are going to redouble their efforts and scale up investment in infrastructure and making all those Pan-African infrastructure projects progress much faster. I was happy to read in the news here that Ethiopia was working steadily towards developing its part of the rail network, and I think this is going to be extremely important. So let me say just a few words in terms of way forward. I know you're tired after three days. What we will do after this conference, as we always do after that, is to try and disseminate the findings broadly, use it to generate debate and discussion. We will be releasing the main report. We did not release it this time before the conference because we wanted to take your input into it. Because if you have it already out there, we have a rich debate, but it's not part of it. So we will be releasing all of the chapters to you between today and tomorrow, and we will use the output from here to enrich some of the chapters and then make sure that what comes out is not just what the researchers did and the reviewers. By the way, every piece that is there is externally reviewed blind, so we don't know who reviews them. But what has come out of here is going to be important also to reflect there. So you'll have that. We would like to work the media to make sure that the findings are known and accessible to everybody who is part of the dialogue and part of the review processes. We will work with the ReSAKSS, the non-state actors, CSOs and others to organize forums to discuss the outcomes, to plug into the dialogue and learning events that are taking place around CADEP. We look forward to bringing this analysis into supporting strategic debate around Malabo. As you know, it's a very rich agenda. Everything we talked about here can be found in Malabo. And I'm sure the debate under the leadership of NPCA and AUC is going to continue to take place. And we would like to make sure this analysis supports that and contributes to it. We will refine it as countries work towards their second generation of investment plans, dealing with issues related to structural change, to industrialization, to infrastructure. So how this research can be refined, built upon to better help countries figure out and navigate those different challenges. That much to the work of this year. Next year, as I said, the topic is going to be on nutrition, an area where I think Africa could achieve much more progress based on the resources we have right now. The biggest constraint there is perhaps knowledge in terms of the experience that is out there in other regions that have been tackling nutrition. It's a very young agenda item across Africa, but if we figured out a little bit more the best practices, the best modalities of doing that, the most critical components of nutrition programs, how to benchmark, how to define milestones, how to put programs together with the money and the resources we have in the countries right now, we'll get better nutrition outcomes. And so we look forward to the findings of that report, which we think is going to be also a timely contribution to the Malabo agenda. The theme for now as a working topic is achieving nutrition revolution and achieving health diet for all, which I think is a wise target to have. One piece of information to all of you, many of you have been looking at and working with the ReSAKSS website. You'll soon have a brand new, really nice, refreshed, very, very up-to-date website. I think within the next couple of weeks it's going to go up. You will love it, so I invite you, all of you, to go and take a look at the new website. We have a new effort that's going to be included in the new website. We are working with countries to develop GIS-based tools of tracking hundreds of indicators, allowing them to feed into the M&E process for the second generation of investment plans, the possibility to track progress at the local level, to track progress based on socioeconomic groups like youth and women, and to integrate all the different indicators into one platform that's available for everyone at the country level. E-Atlas has anywhere between 200 to 300 indicators that can be tracked in GIS reference, which is going to be a really nice tool to see. It's going to be up and live in the new website as well. So to finish, Madam Commissioner, Director Zena Martin and friends, would like to thank everybody again to join Godfrey, all the participants, but also in particular our friends and colleagues from the country cadet teams, the ReSAKSS teams, and the GSR teams who are doing an amazing work for their countries and part of the transformation process taking place around CADEP. AUC and PCA for the hosting by AUC, for the support by NPCA, UNECA, this is a fantastic facility, we love it. The translators, I know it's a hard work, but they've been patient with our accent, the speed of delivery of our speech, and all those things. Thank you for tolerating all of that. The ushers, caterers, facility managers, it's been a great job. The ReSAKSS team, we owe you a cup of coffee. It's just great. I would like here to thank my IFPRI colleagues. You've seen several of them. It was really last-minute replacement by people who at the last minute couldn't come or canceled. And we felt safer to grab somebody from IFPRI to sit in the agenda than to ask other people who did not make the arrangement to be here. So I've been very grateful to them for doing that. Finally, to all of you, safe journey back to your families and to your friends and to your occupations. We appreciate the partnership and the collaboration, and we look forward to seeing you next year. And between now and then, to remain in touch and continue the good job. Thank you very much.